writing. Is it the
Yeah,
one? Is it the
yeah,
Express? Yeah. Mm.
yeah.
How is it?
Not bad. Actually, it's a good. Just that for me,
Mm.
it's really actually very nice.
Okay. Uh, so like how many words are you writing per article?
Article. Mainly for me, I am not in the writing scheme because, but
Mm.
if I'm to write, those are 5,000.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
but for now, because I
Mm.
explained, because for me the purpose was to generate content ideas and do what and edit articles.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, but also writing comes in. But when it comes to writing, that's 5,000 words. That's what I write normally.
Okay. Ah, Sharon says she can't hear. Sorry about that. What can we do? David, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
So does that mean that it's Sharon is trouble?
Network.
Mm, how can we help her? Oh,
Uh,
so just a moment. I see she's rejoining via another, I think via another device. Okay, Peter, thank you for sharing the experience. I'm supposed to be writing.
yeah.
Yeah, I'm supposed to be writing, and I think I'm gonna start with the I chose which one? Developing a WordPress plugin. Now,
Wow.
since you are in charge of content ideas, uh, and I don't know InstaWP that much. So,
Mm.
is
I
this
was,
supposed? Hmm?
if you don't know about InstaWP very well,
Yeah.
recently Hamza did a tutorial about InstaWP that's really nice.
Okay. I'll have to
Yeah.
check that out.
I'll
Mm.
send you a link now.
Y- Yeah, please send me on WhatsApp. I'll be very happy. So guys, okay, welcome back to the PHP tutorial, and this is week 11. So we've really stuck around, and I'm just happy, and we've learned together during this time period is when I've bought this and set up this audio setup that I have, that you hear, that is, Peter said, I've forgotten even, shrift. Yeah, is that the word you said previously? Mm.
Come again?
uh I mean, the sound, did you call the sound shrift earlier when you had just joined, or was it another word?
It was another word.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. Thank you. So I'm very excited and happy that we've moved this far. And I'm happy that people are, I think you are improving. Every one of you at your own pace, you are improving in one way or the other. And what I'm really happy about is the fact that we are not learning just PHP. We are kind of like multitasking, or learning more than one tool at a go. We are learning HTML somehow, then we are learning JIT, or doing what, gripping or strengthening our JIT skills. Then at the same time, we have a YouTube channel where we can go and do one thing, follow up, and revise. What I'm gonna do with the YouTube channel is that I'll go back, just that the YouTube editor is slow. But if it was fast, I wanted to go back and just uh, what are those things called? I would add the time stamps so that it does not really bother you a lot when you want to just go to a particular area in the video. But I mean, it's a tough time that we have to endure, so we can take it the way it is until when we become better. All right. Uh, I mean, until when we are better equipped. So last time we looked at multidimensional arrays, and we said that in a nutshell, an array is a variable that stores more than one value. And the fundamentals or the foundations of programming is that programming languages and computers deal with data, and that data has to be organized in a certain way. So because the data has to be organized in a certain way, there is something known as data types, and data types help us organize and be intentional on which kind of data types we use. As the examples of data types are booleans, integers, strings, name it, and name it all. And then that means that since an array stores values of different data types and multiple values, that means a single array might store a string, a float, a boolean, an integer, so on and so forth. So I want us to start from there to see how an array can store different data types. And I'll go ahead and type here our heading. The reason we start with H1 in HTML is because for search engine friendliness or optimization, your page should have the your page should have an H1 heading so that the search engines can understand or identify your page better. Then the subsequent headings should follow into the hierarchy of from H2 up to H6, however you want it, but just try to be more organized. And your title, your heading for the page should be related to to what is here at the title tag here, and then it should also be related to some meta tags like the keywords and description, which we are not covering at all, maybe someday. So we shall just write here master arrays in PHP. Then we can say no, we can say somewhere here PHP to tutorial, then we call it master arrays and session. Sharon, I remember you've been keeping track of sessions. Is this session for the arrays? Is Sharon hearing?
Sharon has gone off, but I'm quite sure this might be session 3.
Last
I've not
time
been
it looks,
I've not been following, but because I've missed 2 days, 2 sessions,
so
I mean.
2 sessions, yeah. So if you've missed the 2 sessions, this should be, I think, session 3. Why? Because I think session 1 of the arrays, I think you were around.
I think it is session 4.
Okay. All right. So let's go with.
In the other video, we had session 3.
Yeah. Okay. Let's go with this one. So we can say we are creating an array called person. Okay. And it's going to store information about person. This way we can better demonstrate how arrays store different data types. Okay. Are we good?
Yes.
Great. Oh, where's 2? Okay. All right, there you go. So now what we're gonna do, we are going to start with a name. Yeah. So then we can think of things like what? We can think of things like maybe age, maybe salary, maybe what, because we want to show numbers. So we can say, yeah, somebody, you have your mouse, your somebody, you have your
Sorry.
mic on. Yeah. So don't worry. So we shall assume that this is to check whether someone is employed or not. So we put a Boolean false. All right. Then we can think of the birthday month and day. And then we say that. Then we can, let me actually put a phone number here instead, you know. Yeah, this is an integer. And then we put a comma, and then what else can we store? Which data, which spoke about the, oh yeah, the height, spoke about the floats, you know, and so something like that. And then integer, float, Boolean, string. And we can talk about another data type, which is the array itself. So in this array, we are going to put, like, let me say, skills, okay? So programming skills, whereby, oh, let me allow Sharon in. Yeah, so whereby we can put in HTML, stroke, CSS, then we can put a comma, and we say JS, put a comma, React, put a comma, PHP. You know, so which, guys, can you remind me any data type we looked at?
Strings.
Okay, strings. Okay.
Did I understand the question?
Yeah, it's okay. Strings are okay. So strings, which we've specified over here, and we are saying that it's okay. So we are saying that this array person is storing things about a person. It's storing a name here. Whether, okay, here we are assuming that this is for the salary, but there's a better way we can do it. But for now, let's take that way. So I mean, this was for employment. Then just a moment. Let me tell this one to join now. All right, sorry. So I was, someone says they missed, but I've told them that, you know what, join now, because we've just started. So here we put a phone number, here we put a height, here we put the skills that this person has. So now this means that instead of, this would have been like this. Okay, instead of doing this. So here I would have said person David Wampamba. So that's what we would have done. Then we would have said is employed, false. Then we would have said phone number. Do you see how it's quite involving? It's quite involving. And then we would have, just a moment. Then here, you would have said height. And then we do that. And then when it comes to skills, it would be hard, because now when you don't know how to use the array, then you would have to write something like this, skill 1. You would have to write something like this. And maybe you say skill 2. Simply, I'm trying to illustrate how it would have been if we did not decide to use arrays. Guys, do you see those? There are some hints that pop up when I'm typing, and they are really destructive. If you ever find out how to turn them off, please give me directions, because the research I've done and the settings I've done, they have so far not been helpful. I don't know if I need to maybe let me see this one. This is formatting. This is prettier. So, but prettier is for making things look organized. Anyway, so skill. Yeah, those, you see those that show us skill 1 and skill 2 as highlights. Those are the ones I'm referring to that I'm tired of. They are destructive, and those ones, that thing where you see cookie, then associative variable past, that is what I don't like to show. So, guys, this is how tough it would have been. Do you see how many lines we've written? And do you see that we would have to go through a lot of thinking to come up with variable names? Yet here you would just write the person and then arrange your data in order, in that order. So basically, that's why arrays are important. And I wanted also to demonstrate that arrays can store data of different data types. So for example, if I wanted to output the height, I would simply come over here and I would simply come over here and just write person, person, what, 1, 2, 3, 4. So that's the 3, right? Because the counting starts from 0. So I would then put here the word height, and I would save. And after saving, I will go to our, and it has brought, of course, like, in mathematics, they tend to ignore the point which is 0. So they have ignored it here. But if I just said, like, say for example, that, and we would see it. So variables can store both all data types. If I wanted the name, I would simply write name here. Then I would do person. Then what should I put here?
Zero.
What are we doing? Sorry to ask.
What are you doing? Are you eating a cake?
No,
Where is your attention then?
I dropped off and I joined.
No, I'm just demonstrating that arrays are capable of storing values of different data types. So you can see an array on line 14, an array called person, and in it we've put in the particulars of this person. And we are referring to this one here as the name, this as the status, whether this person is employed or not. This is the person's phone number. This is the person's height. This is the person's programming skills. So my question was, what would I put here to show the name? And David said a 0. So Sharon, have you got there? Have you understood? Yes. So if Peter, you've not understood, in an array, if in an array, an array is like, let me say, an Excel sheet. Okay, if you've seen Excel sheets. So So what happens in the Excel sheet is that you have columns running across the screen. Now, in an array, those columns are the values that are separated by commas. So whenever you say comma, the previous element before the comma is considered to be a column. Okay, so this is a column, this is a column, this is a column, this is a column, and this is a column of subcolumns. All right. Yeah, so if, okay. All right. Now, let's see if what I said would come out. Yes, so it has come out. So that's what shows that we've, in this array, we've stored the name, the height, and the height is a different data type, but all of these things are all in one, you know? That's why arrays are really, really important. So if we wanted to output the skills, this is where loops come in, or this is where you have to, you can use the indexes, but what if you don't know how many skills this person has? How will you do it? So for example, if I want to output skills, I can write, let me put a break line here. I can write skills. And I think you know that this is a shortcut for echo. So now with this one, I would have to find this column, and I would consider this column. If this column is 0, this column is 1, this column is 2, this column is 3, this column is 4, this one. So, but this column has sub-columns, and those columns are also numbered. So what we are going to do is that if we know that this is 4, we go by the standard of row by column. So what would happen is that we would say that this is, okay, this is a column, but in it has columns. So we would assume that this is a row and at this level, and we say that it's at 4, then the item we want is maybe at 0 or 1 or 2 or 3. So, and the way we would do that is by putting here a 4, then open another pair of square brackets and put in 1 if you want the item at 1 to appear like that. And this would give us something powerful. It would give us what we want. So skills JS, but there's another way we can output all of these skills. The other way we can output all of these skills is through a loop. You know, what we would do is we would write PHP. Then since we are going to do a loop, we can't use the shortcut here. So we would say, a minute, guys, someone, can we implode? We can implode, but I don't want to go in that at the moment. Yes, because not every time we can implode. Not every time we need to implode. So we can come over here and we say that person 4 as a skill. So this skill is just a made up, excuse me, it's just a made up variable. Then here I can say echo a skill every time there is a skill at that position. And as we do this, I'm gonna also concat a comma to our results so that they appear with a comma. Then here I'll end a for each. So I expect that this is gonna go through all the items here through all the items here, and it will output them as skills separated by comma. So let's refresh, and that's it. Do you see? So they have output the skills for this person, but you can see that there's a comma here, which is not right. So how do we do that? This is when you have to say, this is when you have to check and see which position you are, so that you don't end up showing a comma when you don't need it to. So this is where things like while would be important, where you could say while person 4. So this is while, you can say while I less than count of person 4. Okay. Then that means you have to put an I here outside the while and give it a 0, because if you don't give it a 0, you will miss out the first item. So while that and while, but then whenever they output, we want to increment the I. Okay, you want to increment the I and do what? And say if I not equal to, so I was gonna bring the count again, but when you are going to use this function twice, it's better you assign it a variable so that you don't run it twice for optimization. So we shall say total, I can say num of skills equals to that. So you are going to see how I'm using this. So I'll now bring this here, and then I'll say I plus plus, then I'll say if I is not equal to this number, then if I is not equal, then echo out a comma. So they'll echo out a skill, they'll increase the value of I, and if that value of I is not equal to the total number of skills the person has, they'll also echo the comma, and once it is, they won't. And you need to do these things a little bit, you need to be used to them a little bit more, so that they can help you become better at algorithms. So, just a moment, guys, I made a mistake. A skill is not existing anymore. So I would bring person, put person here together with a 4. Then I would put a comma and put the I. Okay. All right. So this I contains the value, like, say, for example, the value we had, where did we have it? We had it before, but when we output the skill, one skill. So this is gonna help us when I refresh. You see that? So we've used a while loop together with an if condition statement to ensure we don't output the last comma. Now, that's when if it was there's this that we've done, you see this number of lines, there are many, but David had suggested that can't we implode? So with unemployed, you can omit all of this code, and run the thing like this. Employed, you put a comma which you want to separate each item with. Then you put another comma here and you put person 4. This is a one-liner. Okay. And you do echo. So if I comment these ones out like that, what would happen? Let's see. We get the same result. Okay. Because we've used unemployed here, but here we are not using unemployed. So if you are in a PHP interview and they ask you how to join strings, you have to show them many ways, but it's important for you to know how to use a loop to join, to make strings. It's important for you to use functions. It's important for you to use any other thing, you know. So it's important because at the end of the day, when an interviewer gets to interview you, they want you to be better than the other candidate. When they are interviewing, they don't bother whether you are a person who is from an underserved community, whatever. No, they give jobs on merit and credit. All right, so this was a by the way. It was necessary for our example, so I'll uncomment these ones out. So guys, I wouldn't want to continue more than here. It's 5 minutes to 10, and I would like to stop there. Those people who have questions, please go ahead. Otherwise, I'm gonna put this in a gist and share it. And any questions?
Oh, for me, I had like when I wrote person, the person array, I had a problem with the phone number.
Oh, because it wasn't showing the trailing 0.
No, it started with 0, but then after, okay, my PHP started complaining. So I was asking, why isn't yours complaining?
Your 0 started complaining. Did you put a 0 or a O?
I think I put a 0. Let me do it again and check. Yeah, it is complaining actually.
It's complaining?
Yes.
When can you share your screen? Let me see if I can enable you. Where? Okay, go ahead and share your screen.
So that's a code. And if I go to the browser.
No, just a moment. Let me look at the code.
Code.
Okay, go to the browser. Invalid numerically.
That is what it shows.
Yeah, and it's a pass error. Probably that is the same thing it would show me. Let me see. Oh, but mine is not complaining. So numerically true. Which version of PHP are you running? Go to mom. Oh, that's the same that I'm running. What did you try to, were you outputting this or not?
No, I
For
was
it to
trying to.
complete.
I was outputting this.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Wait.
But then it.
First go back. You see, you have a challenge on line number 36.
36.
Yeah, that's the challenge.
Okay.
Yeah, okay, let's see now. First go back to your code again. So first go at the top again. Go at the top. It's funny how it's not how mine is not complaining, and we have the same. Okay, could you do me a favor, and you do me a favor and remove that number for a second, and we.
The 0.
Oh yeah, you can remove the 0.
Okay. It works perfectly.
Yeah, perfectly. So integers shouldn't start with a 0. That's what it means. But we should also learn about pass errors so that we get to know what it really meant. Because on my side, it wasn't complaining at all. That could also be determined by how you've set the PHP error reporting, but we shall see that in the future about the PHP error reporting. However, still integers shouldn't start with a 0. That's what I remember. The 0 should be ignored. So anyway, that's it. So any other question? Looks like there's no other question.
Thank you.
You are welcome. Yeah.